name is Teresa Smith with My Home Group.
She is a top producing agent here in the Valley in the state of Arizona. She's been in business for about 4 years now. Yeah, and she's going to do about $10 million in sales this year.
Yes.
Yes, we got Miss Teresa Smith. All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Alan Kay Show, where every single time we are trying to interview and learn more from top producing agents, top team leaders, as well as broker owners in the real estate industry. And today we have a special guest. She is a top producing agent here in the Valley in the state of Arizona. All right.
Yep.
She's been in business for about 4 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 years. And she's going to do about $10 million in sales this year.
Yes.
Yes. We got Miss Teresa Smith.
Hi.
What's going on, Teresa?
Not
How's
much.
life?
Good.
Yeah.
Life is good.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
listen. I would like to know. Like, I'm looking at your numbers for the past 4 years. Your numbers are just going up and up and up and up. Right. So this year you're going to do $10 million. And the reason I say that is because if you look at the production of a lot of agents, unfortunately, the last 3 to 4 years has been really rough. Back in 2021, there were like about 7 million transactions that have closed around the country. This year, I think we're barely going to do about 3.5 to 3.7, 3.8 million transactions. So, like, what's the secret to your growth? Like, most of the agents are doing less transactions than they did a couple of years ago, but you're like going up and up and up.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me on the show. It's funny you say all that because I really haven't even really looked at my numbers or my volume or anything this year until yesterday. So I just treat people the way I want to be treated. I love people and I love to serve them well.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like doing that and just making sure they're top of mind to me, and then in return, I'm top of mind to them.
Sure.
I've tried to really build a business of referral-based business and a repeat client business.
So let's unpack that.
Yes.
Right. So I think most of the agents would agree. Well, you know what? I treat my clients well, and I do provide exceptional service, but my business is down 40% or 50%. Like if you look at some of the agents that back in 2021, right? They did like 20, 25 deals. Now barely like closing 10 or 11 deals, right? They're down. Their business is down by as much as 40, 50%. So what are you doing differently in terms of, let's say, tactics, right? That separates you from a lot of other agents out there that they're just not doing as well as they did back in the day?
I just really try and do things for my clients yearly throughout the year to show them that they're special to me. So I feel like a lot of things that I do are things that other people do, but maybe other agents don't do these things. But I always send them a birthday card. On their birthday, I send them a text message, home anniversary card every time that it's their year to celebrate their being in their home.
Yeah.
Like that month, I send them a home anniversary card, even if it's 2 or 3 years later. Like, hey, you've been in your home for 2 years. How exciting, you know. I hope you've created great memories in this home. I send things in the mail quarterly to my clients. So they get little gifts in the mail throughout the year. Monthly, I send a newsletter out. That's something new that I started doing the last couple months, but so they get that from me. I just really try and make their experience special going through the buying and selling process, and then the experience after we close special still. I feel like at the end of the transaction, my clients are my friends.
Yeah.
And then we just continue the friendship after that. Like go on coffee dates. I get invited to their kids' birthday parties. I get invited to baby showers. I do the extra things that friends would do, I guess.
Sure.
It's not just about the transaction for me. It's about the relationship and the client, and just making sure that they feel loved and valued.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're part of your almost kind of like your inner circle, right? Your clients, I'm assuming a lot of them become your friends.
Yes.
Right. And you become almost kind of like have a part in their life.
Yes.
Right. So it's beyond just postcards. It's beyond just thank you cards, right? You're actually really genuinely want to be part of their world.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Would you say that?
Yes. Yeah. And like randomly, if I'm thinking about them, like I'll send them a text. Hey, I'm thinking about you today. Hope you're having a great day, and things like that. Like I don't feel like it's extra special. It's just something like I just do.
Yeah.
But I guess it's if you're not that type of person or you're not,
yeah.
So
I had interesting, like about a month ago, 2 months ago, I had Rebecca Durfee on the show. And Rebecca does like consistently like 90 to 100 transactions a year. And it's her.
That's amazing.
She's amazing, right? She's like a rock star. And she's been doing it for like 20 plus years consistently, right? And 90+% of her business comes from like repeat referrals, past clients, right? SOI. And I was like, man, what's the secret to your like longevity? Number one. Number two is like consistently closing so many transactions with your sphere. And it's like, look, Alan, I remember every single transaction. I remember like every client's name, and I remember what type of a house they bought. And I also personally call them on their birthday. She's like, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I mean, I send out some emails. There are a few things that go out here and there, but that's pretty much it. But it all starts with providing that exceptional service, right? Because if you don't, then most likely they're not gonna like remember you, or they want to use you or refer you to someone else.
Yes.
Right. So let me ask you this question: like, how do you get in front of these clients? Like, how do they like? In the early stages of your career, you started in 2000 and...
well, in 2020, I hung my license with my home group.
2020.
Yeah.
Right. So in 2020, that's about 4.5, close to 5 years. Tell us about that first year in real estate.
So my first full year in real estate was 2021. So in 2020, I hung my license in July of 2020. I closed like 5 transactions that year. I joined a team. They provided leads. So at first I was able to work my business with leads. But I knew ultimately I really wanted to have a business that was built on referrals and just connections and just to have the sustainable business. I wanted to have a business built on relationships. So let's see, in 2021, that first year, it was a really hard year because that year was crazy in real estate. If anyone remembers, 2021 was like you were competing against at least 10 to 20 offers.
You're writing offers every day.
You're writing offers every day. You were like having to. So I was in a place where I was a new agent to this resale side of transactions, and I was trying to help my clients, and I wanted them to feel like I was doing a good job and they were taken care of. But at the same time, I was having a hard time getting their offers, accepted and things like that. So I spent a good 6 months in 2021 crying every day. Like I literally was crying every day because I wanted to be able to serve and provide good service and show my clients that I was doing a good job, but it was just so hard out there. But at the end of that year, I looked back and I was able to see like I did it still. Like I was able to close 16 transactions that year. Mm-hmm. And it was still a good year for me in real estate. Being my first full year in real estate and being how crazy it was, I saw that God still provided for me and my family. And it's just funny because now looking back, I remember my daughter because she's like my little sidekick. Anywhere we would go, people would ask me, friends and family, how's real estate going back in 2021? And she was 9 at the time. And people would she would always tell them she cries a lot. Mm-hmm. My mom cries a lot. And I'd be like, Ella, you can't tell people that. Yeah. But it was the truth. And that she saw that every day. So she saw me crying every day. And she would ask me why I'm crying. I'm like, because I just want to help my clients and I can't. Yeah. It's really hard. But at the end of the year, looking back and seeing like, just have to stay the course and be persistent and keep going and persevere through those hard times. And I'm just thankful that I made it through and God provided for me. And I'm able to now know that no matter what, I can get through it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting because I know we spoke before this. It kind of reminds me of my situation. My first 6 months, I was very similar, right? I was working. I was cold calling for expireds, cancels every single morning, and I was getting rejected pretty much every single morning. And then I would finally get that listing appointment, and I would go to that listing appointment, and I would I would just bomb because I just didn't know what I was doing. And then I had some health issues on top of that, which was tough. It was really, really difficult. And for 6 months, I was not able to secure one transaction. And finally, after 6 months, I got my first listing. It was a $100,000 listing, but it felt like it was $1 million listing. It was a $2,500 commission check on the list side, but it felt like it was a $25,000 commission check. Right. But more importantly, it wasn't even the money piece of it. It was finally like, man, finally, I'm getting a win. And even though I didn't realize that every day that I was able to get up and do what I like to do and continue to push through and overcome all of the limiting beliefs, all the self-doubt that unfortunately we have to deal with, right? If you think about it, I'm sure during that 6-month period, you were probably, telling yourself, man, am I really doing right? Or am I even qualified to go out there, and help these people in the first place, right?
Yes. Should I just go back?
Yeah, should I go
do something else?
Correct.
Because I worked for Shea for 2 years prior. I got my license in 2018. I worked for Shea. So should I go back to new home sales? Should I do something else? Am I not doing the right thing? Is this really going to work out? Just so much doubt.
Yeah. So in my situation, for me, what was really kind of pushing me forward was my family, my kids. I didn't want to fail them, right? I didn't want to fail my wife because she's always been there with me, through thick and thin. And I think I shared this with you. We lost everything 2008, 2009. We're bankrupt, $500,000 in debt and everything like that. And we're able to overcome that. And I didn't want to put them in the same situation again in 2013 and 14. So that was really my biggest reason why I was continuing to push through, even with the health issues. And my dad was diagnosed with cancer, stage 3. What was pushing you forward during that period of time? Was it your daughter? Was it something else? Why you did not give up? Because it's so easy to say, you know what? Well, I haven't really done anything for the last 3-4 months. I'm not really making any money. I'm driving around town. I'm writing offers. Nothing coming into fruition. Let me just go do whatever I did in the past and get paid maybe an hourly wage or a salary on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. What was pushing you through?
I would say my daughter, my family. When I started doing real estate, I love the flexibility, the being able to pick her up from school, take her to school, take her to appointments, do all the things during the week that I couldn't do before.
Yeah.
Because the schedule I always had before was I worked weekends.
With Shea.
Yes. Yeah. I had 2 days off during the week. And then even before I went to Shea, I was in property management for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And so I worked at different apartment communities, leasing apartments. I was assistant manager for a little while. So even that schedule, you're working the weekends. You have weekdays off. So a lot of my life, I never had weekends off. And up until she was, 8 years old, I was working weekends. So I really, really loved the flexibility and I wanted to continue that. And I loved the opportunity that it gave me to be able to do that with her and for her. And so that pushed me. And then just being able to have a career. I felt like I could actually have a career in something. I feel like a lot of my life, I was working just for a paycheck and it was a job, but I never really had a career.
Yeah.
And this was actually I can have a career now. I can actually do this. And I knew I could do it and I just had to keep pushing through it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the last 6 months after that, you sold 16 homes, transactions. The bulk of those transactions, were they coming from your sphere at that time, or they were coming from let's say the leads that were generated by the team?
I think most of them came, it was half and half.
Probably
most came from the leads, but then there was still some sphere
as well.
Sphere that came in because I wasn't really getting referrals at that point. It was more just family and friends that knew I was doing it. I didn't really get a lot of referrals coming in until probably last year in 2023 and then this year in 2024.
Got it. Got it. So would it fair to say the first couple of years, probably most of your business came from the leads that came from, let's say, from the team.
Leads from the team. Yeah.
Right?
And then
and then the referrals, because you provided such a great service.
Yes. And then I started getting referrals from those leads, and then my own, I think with family too, like family, they kind of like stand back and watch you.
Yeah.
And then they want to see like how you do. And then I think after, a year or so, my family, then started reaching out and wanting help. And I was able to help some of my family members with transactions. But I feel like family kind of like sits back and watches a little bit, which is fine. And then
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I had the same type of experience.
Yeah.
Right? I remember my family at first, they were very supportive, and they're always supportive. But at the same time, they're like, well, I'm not sure. You just got into the real estate. Not sure how much you know. We're going to see what happens.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when I started my brokerage, like 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago. It was during the pandemic, or just before we launched, like in January, and then the pandemic happened in March. I remember I was reaching out to producing agents at that time. And I'm like, yeah, but you're new, and let's see what happens 6 months from now or like a year from now. And they'll maybe have another conversation or this and that. So there's always that testing period, right? And you got to be able to prove to them, but also more importantly to yourself.
Yeah.
That you can do this.
Yes.
Right? All right, cool. So what was the reason that you decided to leave a team?
There was just between me and the owner of the team, just differences. We just didn't align with the way that we wanted to do business. Like they were more lead driven, where I was more, I wanted to build a business based off of referrals. So I just felt like there was just a disconnect there, and then just going our separate ways was just what happened.
Right.
So that was September of 2023. So this whole year of 2024, I've been a solo agent. And just, looking back at the numbers, are you doing more transactions this year than last year? Yes.
Or less?
Yes, more. So
More
it's increased. Yeah, it went from 5 in 2020 to 16 in 2021 to 20 in 2022.
Yeah.
And then 24, I think, last year, and this year is like 27.
Wow, it's incredible. Again, the fact that most of the agents' transactions have been going down, your transactions are going up, even when you left the team. Because typically what happens when the agent leaves the team, that source of leads that the team was generating for that agent disappears. So typically their numbers go down, but they still make decent amount of money because they don't have to deal with the team split or anything like that. But in your situation, numbers keep going up.
Yeah, I just really we were talking earlier, and I loved that this year, and like that my past clients or their friends, family would reach out to me, like send me a text or a phone call or through Facebook Messenger or a DM through Instagram. Hey, I'm ready to look for a house. And it's like, when you get to that point where people are reaching out to you, it's so
rewarding.
It is. It is so rewarding because it's like I'm not having to chase people down to get them to buy a house or sell a house with me. Like literally people are wanting to work with me because they already know, like, and trust me. There was a relationship already built with either someone, a friend or family that was able to give them my information, and they were able to reach out to me, or they've already built some type of relationship with me through social media. Like they already feel like they know me through like my posts and my different reels and things that are on social media. So that's really cool too.
There's that saying, right? So amateurs chase, professionals attract. Now, you got to be careful with that because, like, we all probably in the early stages of our careers or businesses have to chase. Like, I remember my first 3 years in real estate, I was chasing expireds and cancels and for sale by owners. That's how I was able to build a business. Even in your situation, the first couple of years, because you were working buyer leads, online buyer leads, essentially that's kind of chasing, right? You're constantly calling them, you're nurturing them, you're trying to prove like you're worthy of their business and everything like that. So that's chasing piece of it, right? But the real magic happens is when you establish that branding or that ability where those people are actually coming to you, and that's how you're attracting. And ideally, you want to attract the right avatar versus the wrong avatar. The people that you enjoy working with versus people that are constantly like sucking the blood out of you, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you sometimes chase and you end up with a client that is just miserable
Yes.
experience. Did you
Yeah.
did you have those in the last 4.5, 5 years? Like, did you work with somebody who just kind of like sucked all the blood or the energy out of you every time you would meet with them or talk to them?
Yes, that does happen, and but you just work through it and do the
You work through it.
You work through it. You do the best you can. You still show them love and treat them well, and hope at the end of the experience that they still had a great experience with you, and they'll still refer you somebody in the end.
So
but
you didn't have any situations where you're like had to like fire them?
no,
No?
no.
Okay.
I feel like even though like they're difficult, I feel like they're with me for a reason. Like there's a reason they're in my life. There's a reason that I'm good. If I can show them kindness or I'll make them happy. I don't know. Like
Wow, you're patient. You're super patient.
Yes, that is one thing. Like from my team and the owner of the team, she was like, "You can have this person because you're more patient."
Like I fired a few people in my life, but I also kept some that I wanted to fire, but you know what? I was able to kind of like through the patience piece of it, able to work out the situation that we were in. Like I give you an example, quick story. I was representing a buyer, and he was interested in my listing in Arrowhead Ranch, right? So here I am, I'm the listing agent on this property, and he wants to write an offer on this listing. And I'm like, oh God, now I'm representing the seller and the buyer. I'm just, you know how it is with those situations. So he writes an offer. I'm presenting that offer to the listing agent, not listing agent, me, the seller. And the seller like accepts it, right? They're like, okay, great. We're under contract. Now the inspection happens. So the buyer writes like literally every single thing in a Binzer that he wants to be repaired. Mm-hmm. Like literally, and they're like 100+ items. He wants everything to be repaired. And I was like, look, you cannot be serious. Like, I know this house is kind of dated and it needs some work.
Yeah.
But you can't just like expect the seller to do all of the repairs and replace. It's like, no, Alan, that's the only way I'm going to be able to do it. I was like, all right, I'm going to present it to the seller.
Yeah.
So the seller at first was huffing and puffing. Are like, I'm not going to do this. This is ridiculous, Alan. You're my agent, this and that. But finally, he's like, all right, I got to sell it. I have already another house. I'm paying 2 mortgages. I'll take care of it. So he takes care of everything but the 3 items on that list. Again, there are like close to 100 items on that list. Can you believe this?
That's
no
crazy.
Joke. It probably aged me by like 3 years. So then I present the Binzer from the seller to the buyer, and the buyer looks at it. It's like, what about these 3 items? And I was like, come on, seriously. Like, I'll get somebody over there. They'll take care of those things. It's like, no, I want the seller to take care of these things. I was like, come on. So he's like, nope. Like, we don't have a deal unless the seller takes care of these things. So I go to the seller. I was like, all right, can you just take care of those things and I'll just take care of you? Like, I'll just pay for it. Like, I insist, right? He's like, nope, Alan, it's a matter of principle. I'm not going to do it, and I'm not going to take your money. So now we're at a stalemate. And the buyer says, you know what? I'm going to cancel it. So he cancels it. So I was so upset, and I was so also at the same time embarrassed, because here I am, like I'm representing the seller, right? And I said this to the seller, hey, I'm going to work this out with the buyer. And at the end, I'm going to the seller empty-handed with no deal.
Yeah.
And the buyer's canceling after the seller agreed to do like 98% of the repairs. So I go home and I talk to my wife. And my wife is like super easygoing.
Yeah.
She is like, all right.
She like, it's a blessing in disguise, babe.
Yeah. She's like, here's what she says. She says, so what are you going to do about it? I was like, I'm going to freaking fire his ass. I'm done. I'm talking about the buyer. I don't want to deal with someone like that, right? Mm-hmm. I'm closing 4 or 5 deals a month. I don't need this. And she's like, really? This is how you're going to do it? And she used the B word. She's like, really? This is how you're going to do this? And I'm like, yeah, babe, I don't need this. Like, she's like, why don't you be able to adapt to the situation? Like, figure it out. Like, don't give up on this client. He wants to spend $400,000. You already spent so much time with him. Figure it out. So I thought the seller was going to fire me. He didn't fire me. Thank God. The buyer, I thought, was going to fire me. He didn't fire me. We found another house. We did the inspection. There were like about 20 or so items on the Binzer. He asked for 3 repairs to be done. We closed on that house. 2 years later, we sold that house again. I sold my listing again. The moral of the story: sometimes patience is a good thing. Actually, most of the time, patience is a good thing,
yes, it is.
right? And in our industry, we're going to get people that are just, going to be assholes, right? But we have to be able to adapt, right? And there's that, I say this to my agents all the time, you got to be able to learn to become a chameleon.
Oh, yes. I say the same thing. Like, you have to be a chameleon in this business because you have to be able to understand everyone has a different personality. And so sometimes you have to just adapt to their personality and their needs. And
But here's the thing, interesting, with that client, the buyer, right, was a heavy, hefty guy, very negative. He was a doctor. And I'm not saying doctors are, no.
Yeah.
But he was a doctor in a prison. So clearly, like, being a doctor and then on top of that, being in a prison and dealing with criminals on a daily basis and everything like that, that's his mindset. It's all about like questioning, not believing, not trusting, negative. So because of that, everything that he received from me or somebody else, he would question it, he would not trust it, and he would put a negative spin on it.
Yeah.
So as soon as I was able to connect all of those dots together, I was like, okay, I know how to handle his personality.
Yep.
And I'm able to do it.
Yep.
And you know how I handled it with that Binzer? I was negative. I was like, man, this house is a lemon. This house has just got so many issues. We're probably going to look at another house. It's like, no. We're going to go with this house. So if I was like great about the house and all happy and jolly about it, he would probably say, no, the house needs a lot of repairs. So that was my thing with him.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so that was my quick story. So yes, patience is important. Being chameleon is important, right? Those are the 2 things that I think are must when you're dealing with just people in general.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So talk to me about your daily routine right now. You got a 12-year-old daughter.
Yes.
Right? You love to spend time with her,
yes.
right? Your husband, you mentioned to me that he just recently retired. He was a police officer for 20 years. Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
All right. So he's at home. Your daughter goes to school, but I'm sure she's home after 2 or 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
Right. So kind of what do you do during the day in terms of like continuing to generate business, getting in front of your clients, right? And then the rest of the time, how do you spend it with your family?
Oh man, I wish I had a more consistent routine. That's one thing I'm not. I know there's so many agents that are good about their routines. Like they're like get up and they like make their phone calls and they do all these things. And I don't have a routine like that. But,
wait a minute, you don't meditate?
Well,
you don't do a cold plunge?
No, I don't do a cold plunge.
You don't run?
I don't run. I don't do the feet grounding.
No?
No. I get up in the morning. I do always thank God for everything He's giving me and spend time with Him. And then from there, it's just we get our daughter to school. After that, I do spend time on social media, just connecting with clients, past clients that I want to eventually have, like people in.
So when you say like you're spending a time on social media, so there are people, and I'm one of them. I'm not judging that we like just mindlessly scrolling through social media. That's one way. The other way is like. Finding your friend or someone that you follow or your client or this and that, a past client, and you're engaging with their post or let's say, for example, their comment, whatever it is. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. I always want to find my clients on social media, make sure that I'm following them on Instagram or Facebook if they have it, and then just staying in contact that way too, so that they know that I'm part of their life, even on social media. Like if whatever's going on with their kids or their family, like I'm commenting, I'm liking it, things like that. That's I don't know if it's important for everybody, but it shows them that I care.
Yeah.
And so I take time doing that. I take time, reaching out to other people on social media that maybe, I would like for them to be, my clients. So I'm like reaching out to them, commenting on stuff so they can see that I'm there and I'm supporting them and I'm liking their stuff and things like that. And then what else? I do, so every week on Wednesdays, I meet with a group of other real estate agent women in the West Valley. And we're from different brokerages and we're just doing life. And we because when I went solo, I was like, I need community.
Yeah.
Like that's so important for me. And I feel like women need community. I don't know if more than men, but I don't know if that's true. But men probably need community too. But so
you're absolutely right. I mean, you're like I mean, like if you think about it, like as an entrepreneur or business owner, like it can be a really like a lonely world.
Yes.
Not that many people get you or understand you. So you definitely want to be in the same circle.
Yeah, and if you're working from home a lot, yes, I have an office I can go into, but I don't always go into it. Like I do a lot of my stuff from home or where I'm at or meet clients out and about. So every Wednesday, I talked to a few of the girls that I knew that were real estate agents like in the Surprise area. And I said, what do you guys think about just meeting on Wednesday mornings and we can just talk about, life, real estate, help each other, be there to support each other. And they were all on board. So I think there's like 13 of us now. Not all 13 come at the same time, but we're at least a few of us get together every week. And we're, different brokerages, EXP, Realty One, My Home Group. And we just talk about real estate, our transactions that we have going on. If anyone has questions on things, and we just support each other and love each other. And it's great because you need that. And I was like, if I'm not part of a team, I can still create that community.
Yeah.
No matter where I'm at, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I just love to support other people and be there for them and know that I can add value that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So what would you say, and obviously, I don't want you to or share the things that you guys talk about, but what would you say would be like top 2 or top 3 topics that you typically like discuss when you get together like each Wednesday?
We talk a lot about right now, like what's going on in our business because it has been slow with our listings.
Sure.
So we talk about that and how to get more eyes on our listings, think of like different ideas we can do. And it's good to have all of us like there just to hear what each other's doing. And also we have a big like group chat text that we do. So a lot of times during the week, we'll put stuff in the group chat, like if someone has questions on a particular client or something on the Benzer, or they want help on, hey, if I need to find this on the MLS, how do I, get this? We can all like pipe in there and give them our ideas and help them that way too. So we talk about what's going on in our business, and we also just talk about we've been talking a lot about mindset this year because it was a really slow year for a lot of agents. So I'm grateful for the business that I had, and I knew I could be like a support to them, but also just being there and letting them know, like, don't give up, like keep going. It's been a hard year for a lot of agents, so don't feel like it's anything, like don't feel like it's just you. You're not a terrible agent. It's just the way the business is right now. And then these are the things that you can do too, and just giving them different ideas of like what I do. And a lot of them are starting to do those things, which is great.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, people look at you thinking, oh my gosh, she got, she's doing so many deals. She's so popular, and, they see kind of like the exterior, but they don't really truly know what is going on sometimes.
Yeah.
Internally, right? Like there are people that deal with all kinds of issues and complications, health, financial, relationships, business, and everything like that. So like, I remember myself when I got into real estate, like I was also diagnosed with autoimmune disorder, like ulcerative colitis. And I remember, and I think I shared this with you, is like I was going on a listing appointments, not thinking really about what I'm going to say to the sellers. I was thinking more about like, how do I ask them to use their bathroom, if I need to make a stop, what would be that stop, for to use that bathroom. So that health condition I dealt with for almost 3 years, my first 3 years in real estate, then back in 2019 as well, and I lost like 60 pounds in 6 months or 7 months or something like that. So the reason I bring this up is because, again, like when you're having conversations with these group of agents or just in general with people, we all deal with stuff. Mm-hmm. And I think you shared as well with me off the record, and I don't know if you want to put it on the record.
I can talk about it, yeah.
That you have some health issues as well.
Yeah.
And how you're able to kind of like overcome, cope with them, if you will. That's the word, right? And then just continue to push through.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you don't mind sharing.
Oh yeah. So like Alan was saying, people say to me often, like, I want to be like you, or I want your life, and I always think to myself, no, you don't want my life. You don't want, because you don't know like really what that person deals with. You see like the exterior stuff, and you see like, she goes to Disneyland all the time. She has an amazing life. She sells all these homes, all these things. But there's always something that people don't know. And it's, last year in July, I had a really like severe gallbladder attack, like with gallstones, and had to go to the ER, and then I had to have my gallbladder removed last year in September. And since I had my gallbladder removed, I just had like severe like stomach issues since then. And I feel like when I go anywhere, the first thing I have to do is look for a bathroom. And to be in that situation, or to feel like, and then it messes with your mental too, because you're driving to an appointment to meet with a buyer, or you're driving to an appointment to meet with a seller, and you're
worried.
Yeah, you're worried.
Stressing out.
You're thinking like, okay, am I gonna make it to their house? Am I gonna like? But then because you're thinking about it, it makes your stomach more upset, and then it's like, okay, so controlling all of that, and then also like throughout this year, I've had multiple times where I've had to call clients and say, like, on my way to a listing appointment, and tell them like, I'm sorry, like I'm not gonna make it. My stomach's hurting too bad. They don't know like really what happened or what's going on. Mm-hmm. Or going to meet with a buyer and telling them like, I can't show you homes. Like I'm literally there to show them homes, but I can't show them homes because I know like if I get out of my car, like I'm not going to make it to the bathroom, and and like I just those types of things. Like, so that's been really hard this year, but I just know like I look for a bathroom. Look for a bathroom right away when I go anywhere. And then after that, I just try and just eat less, or figure out what I can eat while I'm out with clients, or out with my friends or anybody. And if I want to have the crazy, greasy, not good stuff, I try and eat it at home.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean that's what we can do, right?
Yeah.
But it's interesting because like I just remember, and everything that you're saying, that's exactly what I was going through. And for me, I remember there were times where like literally, like no joke, I would go to the bathroom 8 to 10 times a day. So it would be, it was just, in those days are the worst ones, because, you do have appointments, you do have things that you got to do, but you're limited so much to it, but you're not able to do any of that stuff. Right. Yeah. But the fact that you're still able to just continue to overcome it, right, and push through and continue going out there and produce more and more, just a huge testament to you. And that's great that you actually have that group of women that you guys get to meet with every single Wednesday.
Yes, and one of them dealt with cancer this year, so we're able to support her with that. Like we just become this really tight knit group that supports each other so much more than just real estate.
Yeah.
We're just in each other's lives and love each other and are there for each other no matter what. Yes, we met through real estate, but it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel like my whole real estate business is, even with clients. Like, yes, I met you through real estate, but it's so much more than the transaction.
Yeah.
It's about the relationships and the people and how you can show them love and how you can serve them. And it's just...
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, real estate is that vehicle, right?
Yes.
I tell this to my agents all the time.
Yes.
Real estate is that awesome vehicle. It can be a Rolls Royce, can be a Tesla, or it can be a Pinto, whatever you decide to make it.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's the vehicle to get you to like amazing places, create these long-lasting relationships with your clients, make them your friends, allow you to make some really good money, right? And provide great options and opportunities for your family, right? And I think one of the things that you shared with me was the fact that, one of your biggest whys is the fact that you can now have the flexibility and options to spend more time with your daughter. Right.
Yeah.
And when you started, in real estate, she was 9 years old and now she's 12. And one of your biggest rewards, if you will, is taking her to Disneyland. You have a season. You have season tickets or past Disneyland, right? So it's not the boat. It's not all the other fancy things. It's going to Disneyland.
Yes, yes. And people think I'm crazy and like you love Disneyland way too much. I'm like, no, it's just what we like to do and we love it.
It's your happy place.
Yeah, that's our happy. It really, literally, it's our happy place. Like we walk through the gates, we go in under like the tunnel part where the railroad goes over you, and you walk through that, and you get on Main Street, and it's like. You can smell it and hear it, and everything is amazing. But
yeah,
when I describe it, if you don't feel it, it's okay. But
I feel all the lines. That's what I feel. I get anxiety from just seeing all these lines, of people, sea of people.
I feel like we've gone so much now that it's like. We
just immune to it.
Even if we just go on a few rides, like it's not even just about the rides. It's like that, just being there.
Experience.
Like we just like to be there and walk around, go to the shops, eat our favorite food, and do a couple rides because we know we'll be back.
Yeah.
So it's not about. I definitely feel the people's pain that only go like every couple of years, and or if they only go like twice in their life. Yes, you want to get on all the rides, and you want to like.
How often do you go?
We went 9 times last year, and we went, I think, 7 times this year.
Are you serious? So you go every single month?
I try to go every month.
And if you don't mind me asking you, how much are those tickets, like season tickets, cost?
They went up $50 this year. So when we renew them, it's going to be $1,650 a person. So $1,650.
Okay. So for 3 people, we're looking like at around close to $5,000.
Just for me and my daughter, though. My husband can only do Disneyland once a year.
That's me.
he might, now that he's retired and he's going to have a different schedule and not as much, stress. I hope that he'll go more. So, but I don't think he would take advantage of the season pass like we do. So
it's just you and your daughter.
Me and my daughter.
Do you drive or you fly?
We were driving a lot. This year we started flying, so we flew a couple times this year. But
gotcha.
But yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
So 7 times this year so far.
Yeah.
Wow. 9
last year.
Wow.
But
that's amazing.
Yeah, and I just love the flexibility of that. I'm able to take her to school, pick her up from school, all the things that I can do now with her, and then also us going to Disneyland and creating memories. Because I would yes, I could make all this money and put it in the bank.
Yeah.
And have it for her when I die or whatever. But I'd rather spend it right now on making memories with her so she has them forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I love it. And then you mentioned to me that your husband is going to become
he's going to become a flight attendant. So after 20 years
as a cop.
Yeah, and the last 2 years he was a major crimes detective sergeant. So he was
pretty intense.
Really intense. Now he's going to be a flight attendant. So something totally
also
different.
Pretty intense.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now we'll be able to fly free. So
oh, really?
That's a benefit. Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So your kids and your parents fly for free.
Oh,
your spouse, your kids.
Is it for
a
specific airline, or all airlines offer that?
From what I know, all airlines offer that.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So we're excited because now our flights will be free. So this next year in 2025, our goal is to go to Tokyo Disney, Paris Disney, all the Disneys in the world.
Okay. Well, while you're there, who's handling your business here?
My transaction coordinator.
Is she going to be able to show it?
Yeah, she does have a real estate license, so she can show it.
She can show it?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
And she lives close by, so that'll be good.
I love it. So what is What is your long-term goal? Let's say you and I are having another conversation, hopefully sooner than that. But let's say 5 years from now, we're doing another podcast. Like, where do you see yourself?
Oh my gosh, I haven't even thought about that. I know me and my husband want to buy a second home in Oregon, so we can go like half a year there, half a year here.
Why Oregon?
So my father-in-law was raised in Eugene, Oregon. Okay. And so my husband grew up going to Oregon every summer, visiting grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles, cousins. So my husband has this love for Oregon that he just has always wanted to retire there. Mm-hmm. But I always want to have a home here because we're both born and raised here. Me and my husband born and raised in Arizona. So both of our families are all here. And so I just want to be able to have both. So long-term goal, yes, we want to buy a home in Oregon, and then
like with acreage or like one of those.
So we'd really love to be on the coast. So there's a few like little cities on the coast that we've visited and we've stayed at, and so we really love the Oregon coast.
It's interesting. One of my clients showed me the picture because they are just purchased a house there on the coast of Oregon, and they're going to be putting their house on the market in Arrowhead Lakes. I helped them to purchase that property back in 2020. I think they paid like $500 and change. Now it's worth like close to $1 million. So it's like $500,000 in appreciation in like 5 years. But anyway, so they're moving to Oregon, and I was like, at first I was like, why would you move to Oregon? I was thinking Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
But like, no. It's like about 3 hour, 2.5 or 3 hour drive to where and it's going to be on the coast. Yeah. And they show me the pictures. They're buying this property that's like 5 or 6 acres, and it's very close to the ocean. It's just beautiful. I think it's like $850,000 or $900,000. It wasn't that expensive.
Their houses are like a couple of years ago, the houses were way more expensive than Arizona, but now they're kind of like equal in price.
Well, I think that's pretty much the case in most of the cities right now. Like a few years ago, like Arizona was like, yeah, it's pretty affordable. Mm-hmm. Now it's like, it's pretty much the same as in most of the cities, like, big cities out there. Yeah. Okay. So that's one thing. Anything else in 5 years as far as the business?
As far as the business, are
you looking to like have a team?
I'm not.
Open up your own brokerage?
No, I don't know. Like, I thought about getting my broker's license because I feel like that's like the next step.
Evolution?
Yeah, the next evolution, I guess. But I don't know. I don't know about a team. I love the community that I build, and I love being able to support them, but I like also not feeling like I just want to support them because I love them and I care about them. I don't know. It's not related to money.
Yeah, it's not about the financial rewards or anything like that. It's just the fact that you're part of the community.
Yes.
Right. You spend time with them, and that's what matters the most. So basically, doing what you're doing, obviously, creating more efficiencies, generating more business.
I definitely had a lot of people ask me if I'm going to start a team or when I'm going to start a team, and I'm like, I don't want to start. I just love to support them. Like,
yeah. So. Well, there are pluses and minuses. Like, obviously the plus is the fact that now you have that leverage.
Yeah.
Right. Because you have people like, for instance, you're traveling to Tokyo for a week or 2 weeks. You have somebody who can go out there and show on your behalf and all of that kind of stuff. Right. But in reality, if you think about it, you can right now use a showing agent. There's I think there's an app there called Showami or something like that.
Yeah,
you can use that.
Showami or something. Yeah, I never used it, but yeah.
We even have agents we have our own private Facebook group. Like we always have like agents like, hey, I'll pay $35 or $40 to show a house or this and that. And you have agents that raise their hand.
Brokerage too.
Exactly. So like I don't think you really need a team per se. And then as long as you have a trusted transaction coordinator that handles your paperwork on a back end, I think that's what matters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Awesome. So definitely Disneyland and Disney World around the world.
Yes.
Anything else?
I know my daughter will be graduated from high school in 5 years. So at that time, I don't know. We'll be looking for colleges. I don't know what's going to happen in 5 years, but
right.
But I definitely know we want to buy our Oregon home within the 5 years. So
I love it.
That'll be a goal.
Awesome. How can the audience find you? Where they can find you? Socials?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Facebook, it's just Teresa Smith, or Teresa, on my business page is Teresa Smith Realtor.
Okay.
And then on Instagram, it's teresa.smith.azre. And it's Teresa THERESA.
Okay, so it's TH.
TH.
Got it. And then do you have a website?
I do. It's teresasmithrealtor.com.
.com. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Teresa, I appreciate your time.
Yes.
We learned quite
Thank
a bit.
you, Alan.
And
yes, we did. It was great
hopefully
talking
we can
with you.
Hopefully we can do it again.
Yes.
Right
Let's
on.
do it again.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.